They call it life. But for Jack, life resets every 7 days. The sun rises on Monday, and by the next, everything is different. The world shifts. People change. Faces vanish. Buildings morph, streets rearrange. Names dissolve like smoke. Yet he remains. No matter what shape the world takes, Jack Peron is the only thing that doesn't reset. And the worst part? They all remember him. Every person, every new version of a face he once trusted, smiles and says, "Hey Jack, long time no see. Weren't we just talking yesterday?" They speak with warmth, but they're strangers. Because they're not who they were. They're not who they were ever meant to be. Their memories are false. Their feelings are fabricated. But Jack, he remembers everything. He stopped trusting long ago. He once had a mother who baked cinnamon bread every Thursday. She called him Little Star. Next week, she returned as a man who smoked cigars and didn't know what cinnamon was. He once had a best friend named Theo. They'd race down the train tracks after school. Then Theo came back as a girl who played cello and couldn't even run. 7 days. That's all he gets. 7 days to love someone. 7 days to watch them turn into someone else. 7 days to pretend that this is normal. He tried to fight it once. Screamed into faces. Cried at dinner tables. They thought he was crazy. He almost believed them. But what broke him was her, Anna. He met her one Tuesday. She had violet eyes, chipped fingernails, and a laugh like broken wind chimes. She was weird and brilliant and kind. She didn't care that he was broken. She made him feel real. They kissed on day 4, made love on day 5, and by day 7, he held her hand on a bench beneath the dying autumn leaves and whispered, "Don't forget me." But when the world reset, Anna came back as someone else. A girl with the same eyes, same voice, same smile. But when he kissed her hand, she pulled away. "Who the hell are you?" He cried that night, not out of sadness, but out of exhaustion. He was tired of loving ghosts, tired of surviving a world that rewrote itself like a cruel joke. He was tired of being temporary. Then something changed. He was on the terrace of his small apartment, a place that sometimes turned into a bakery or a glass house or disappeared entirely when he saw it. Through his telescope, far in the distance, beyond the shimmer of the fall sky, a planet. No, not a planet. Earth. Not this distorted, rewiring stage he stood on, but the real Earth. He knew it instantly. His bones remembered. It had the same moon scars, the same stars, the same quiet ache. And then he remembered something from an old, fading book. A myth, a secret. There exists another world, hidden behind the seams. The one before the fracture. The original. A portal. A cave. A key. He followed the signs. Traveled alone. The world reset around him again and again, but he clung to the pattern. And then he found it. A cavern hidden behind a waterfall that sometimes turned into a volcano. He entered. There were guards, twisted men with faces like mirrors and bodies that jittered like broken film. He tricked them, slipped past like a shadow, and crossed the threshold. The light nearly killed him. Not because it was bright, but because it felt true. He fell to his knees, because for the first time in years, the world didn't reset. This place was stable, and people, real people, came running. Not to harm him, but because they recognized him. They took him to a lab beneath the city. White walls, blue light, and then her, a woman, Dr. Kaya, sharp voice, softer eyes. She smiled at him, not like a stranger, not like someone from a story, but like someone who understood. She touched his shoulder. "You made it back," she said. "You're not the only one." That's when he met them. Mira, a girl from a reverse world where time moved backward every night. She remembered the future, but forgot the past. Ash, a soldier caught in a war that restarted every 3 days. He buried the same friends over and over. Kenji, a boy from a soundless world. learned to scream with his throat closed, a quiet that bled. They were like him, victims of the great contract. Dr. Kaya told him the truth. Long ago, before time fractured, there were two Earths, reflections of one another. One filled with chaos, the other with balance. But greed, hunger, and fear caused a war between the two. And to end the destruction, a pact was made. A cycle. To preserve both worlds, they agreed. Energy would transfer from the real Earth to the false one through human souls. A sacrifice. A curse. The project was called Life. Liminal, interdimensional, vicarious exchange. People like Jack were sent unknowingly into the distorted world. Their memories stolen. Their lives repeated. To feed the other side. Their suffering was fuel. Jack clenched his fists. You used me. Kaya looked away. I was used to. I was a subject once. Then I escaped. Now I fight. He stared at the others, broken, hollow-eyed, tired souls like him. He knew what had to be done. They had a plan. To cut the connection. To break the live system. But it required a final surge of energy, a core transfer from someone still active in both worlds. Only one person fit that profile. Jack. The night before the operation, Mira sat beside him. She whispered, "When this ends, will you still remember me?" He smiled softly. "I hope so." Then after a long pause, "I once had a girlfriend, Anna. She was turned into someone else. Week after week. One time, I held her hand, and she had no idea who I was. Do you know what that feels like?" Mira didn't answer. Jack whispered, "Temporary. That's what I've always been." The procedure began. A full transfer. One final act to collapse the system. Jack offered his entire memory, his energy, his essence. And in that moment, he saw it all. Every person he ever loved. Every version of them. Every face he lost. He held on to it, even as the machine drained him. And then, light. Jack woke up in a hospital. The calendar said August 3rd. The walls stayed the same. The nurses came back the next day, unchanged. The streets looked normal. Noti sits. He ran, found his old apartment. His name was still on the door. He opened it, and Anna was there. She turned. Same eyes, but she didn't recognize him. "Hi, can I help you?" Jack smiled. "No, I just wanted to see you again." He walked away and whispered to no one, "My name is Jack Peron, and I remember everything." Thank you for watching, and see you next time.